Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. Today's session is with our business department, who will be sharing a presentation and talking about the courses on offer and what you can expect to study at UCEN Manchester. On the session will be Rochelle and Michael from the teaching team and Adam, who also supports delivery of the courses. So Adam, over to you.
Thank you very much. Yes,
Oh, you just clicked on mute there, Adam.
There you go. There we go. Technical issues to start off with. There you go. Welcome to the business department. So I am Adam Connell. So I'm the head of the department of business, and I'm also someone that you'll speak as a guest lecturer as well. When I talk about the digital side, which is ironic because of the problem we just had then. But nice for you all to come join us today. So what hopefully we'll go through today is about the course that we offer with business and obviously the opportunities we have with today. And what we want to try and do today is sort of cover some of the main issues that you'll have. So if you've got any expectations for today, or if you've got any questions that you want to ask, please use the Q&A box on the side. Rochelle and Mike are both there to be able to answer any questions. If you want to pop your question in there, we will answer them at the end of the session. If we don't answer them during our presentation, Rochelle will take you through a lot of the questions in there. But just as a point to start off with, in terms of obviously the key question a lot of people have been asking is about a delivery for next academic year. So we are hoping to be on campus for at least 1 day a week. Generally the course will be over 2.5 days, and we're hoping at least one of those days to start off with will be on campus. The rest of it will be delivered online, and that will be reviewed throughout the year. But we definitely would start with the very least of 1 day on site, which would be the days for you would be consistent throughout. The tutors may change for you, but for your timetable and if you had working purposes, that would stay the same for you. So that's a question that was worth saying at the beginning. So what we're offering currently is our FD in Business Management. So this is the course that we run in association with Manchester Metropolitan University. So your final qualification would come from Manchester Met. Obviously you'll be studying with us in a more a closer environment than you would with Manchester Met. And obviously in the second year we would have specialist units for marketing, HR and the management pathways. So the first year would all be about getting you up to speed with the different terminology and everything else that Rochelle will talk you through with. So in terms of our team, so I'm obviously the main hard source of business and IT tutor, so I will teach you a lot for the digital side of anything which will fall into different units. Mike and Michelle, who you'll see here very shortly, are our main tutors on it, but we also, the advantage that our department has is that we can bring in key people. So for example, Julie Inman is our finance tutor, so she teaches a lot of the AAT qualifications in our institute, so we can actually bring her in for guest lectures, which is fantastic. And the same with Tim Kearney, who's a fantastic employment law tutor. So whenever we need to bring in guest speakers and guest lecturers, we've got a lot internally that we can bring in, as well as those we can get externally as well. So that's our team. So what I'll do now is I'll pass on to Rochelle to go through our current offer.
Lovely, thank you, Adam. Yeah, so I'll give you some insight into the courses that we have on offer and what you'd be studying for the first 2 years with us at UCEN Manchester. So the first year, this year is actually an exciting time for us all, because the course has been revalidated and sort of updated to make it a little bit more relevant and a bit more engaging and exciting for you guys, and obviously to try and align your studies with employability. So when you graduate, you've got that foundation underpinning to that business world. Before we go into the content and the units you'll be covering, I just wanted to make you aware, the course is called a foundation degree in business. And I just wanted to clear up, because this is a question that comes up, or what puts people off studying the foundation degree, is this isn't a foundation year. So it's not equivalent, it's not a level 3 or a year 0 that a university might call it. This is equivalent to the first 2 years of an actual degree. And the idea is that you do the foundation degree for 2 years, And then at the end of those 2 years, you have a bit of flexibility to either further develop your specialist pathway. So you might decide you want to go and dig a bit deeper into human resource management and the role of HR, or you might decide you want to develop a little bit more insight and develop your skills and knowledge around business marketing. Or you might decide, I just want to carry on doing general business administration or management. So the idea is that you do these first 2 years, and then you can do the final year, which is a 1-year top up. And at the end of 3 years, the same as with a traditional degree, you would come out with a BA or BSc honours degree. So I'm going to go through the different years and how it's sort of structured for you now. So like I say, it is equivalent to the first 2 years of a traditional degree. In the first year, the subject areas that we cover are quite general to business. So if you studied business at level 3, you get a little bit of insight into different areas of businesses and the different functions that they acquire. So you will be studying modules such as global concerns and sustainable development. So sustainability and responsible enterprise is, it's a huge area and sort of a focus for businesses and government, and there's lots of initiatives for businesses moving forward in the next few years. So again, this is another growing area. So it's important that you get a bit of insight and underpinning to that. So that's one of the core units that you'd cover in your first year. To sort of shift and give you a bit more creativity insights, we do another unit known as innovation and creativity skills for business. And with this, we shift more towards the creativity where you can look into developing business ideas and business initiatives. Again, it overlaps a bit with marketing, but again, we look at the management side and entrepreneurial side of business ventures here. So again, that's a great unit to sort of develop your creative skill set. Many start that unit thinking this isn't for me, but by the end, the ideas that you come up with through guidance and support through tutors, it is quite interesting, and we'll look at a couple of example business ideas a bit later in this live session. Another unit, again, because it is generic business, we deliver a unit around accounting and fintech for managers. Again, this is quite a new area, and Mike will be leading on this module, so I don't know if Mike wants to give a bit more insight into this. It's entirely up to you, but again, you're looking at the finances and accounting side to organisation and sort of the technology used. Is that right? Right, Mike?
Yes, that is. It's accounting techniques and financial statements and the use of financial technology that businesses use, and you use, but it's more of the background of the accounting side for the business.
Yeah, it sounds cool and a bit jazzy because it is all technology based and a bit more online. So there's a bit around accounting there too. And then we've got another unit around understanding the customer experience. So if you're going into the world of business, you'll be faced with key stakeholders and customers, and it's looking into the experiences and the processes to follow to support them and give them the best experience with your business. We've also got managing people in a contemporary economy. So this is looking at more people management. So we'll look at some theoretical underpinning there and how you manage people in the workplace. So things like team building or, managing a team, so a bit of leadership, and you may look at a bit of the psychology side of managing people and how we function and work, which is again quite an interesting unit. Another one, which is, again, it's quite new. I'll be leading on this unit. I'm really excited to dig a bit deeper into this. It's digital awareness and professional development. So, we are in the digital age. We're all using digital and media constantly in our daily personal lives, and obviously businesses use it as well. So there'll be a lot around that, but how you can be more aware and sort of professional with the use of digital and applying it and utilising that to support your professional development as well. With Adam as our head of department, he's also an IT and digital tutor with the computing team, so he'll be supporting me in that as well. So he'll be delivering some specialist insights there to support your development in some key areas too. And again, this is all very introductory, so it's looking at the foundations of business to support you to develop to that second year and progress through your degree. We then also offer a couple of introductory units around human resource management, and then looking at introduction to technology and big data as well. Again, another huge area, which I'm sure many of you will realise you are actually quite aware of and use it on a daily basis. So that's sort of the foundation units that you'd be covering in your first year. So again, this is equivalent to a first year degree if you were to study at the university with Manchester Metropolitan as well. And I don't know if Adam, can you skip the slide for me there, please? Perfect, thank you. So once you've done your first year and you've got a foundation insight to various functions and roles of business and business management, you then progress on to your second year, which is level 5. And with this, you can then decide if you want to specialise into business marketing. So you might be more interested in the creativity side, for example. Or you could specialise in human resource management. So again, you do an introductory unit to human resources, so get a bit more insight, and you think, I'm actually interested in this area, and you can progress and pursue that pathway. Or you can stay on the general business management pathway. So there's a few options there, which is quite good. All 3 pathways have these core units. So again, you'd still all be crossing over with each other. So you'd study business operations management. So this is building on from your first year. So you're looking at the operational side. Work-based learning, so looking at work-based policies, procedures and practice. Again, we've got a bit of an example around that of a student's work, and I'll ask Mike to give a bit of insight into that, because again, that's one of his core specialist areas. You've also got employability skills and managing your digital footprint. So again, it's developing on that digital awareness and professionalism unit that you cover in year 1, and we're sort of developing that and being a bit more critical and evaluative around that area. You then also will all cover social innovation through entrepreneurship. So looking at if you're deciding or you're thinking you want to, run your own business, which many students that come on this pathway do, and they do end up being successful entrepreneurs in the future. And we'll have some of them hopefully touching base with us on the course as well, to sort of give you a bit of an insight to what they do in terms of social innovation. We've also got investigating responsible enterprise in a global context. So again, that's developing on from sustainability, but looking at how businesses can be more responsible, more aware on what they can do a bit differently to improve their footprint within sustainability. And then you've also got principles of strategic management, so managing a little bit more strategically in the workplace. Again, looking at critical perspectives around that. So they're your 3 pathways, but they're your core units that you cover across all 3 pathways. And you then have 2 specialist units depending on the pathway that you do choose. So Adam, if you could flip to the next slide for me, please. Thank you. So yeah, there we go. So like I say, the specialist electives are aligned to business management, business marketing, or human resource management, and it very much depends on what you're interested in. And you'll sort of get a better idea towards the end of your first year of what you want to do. So you've got a bit of time to choose there. And us as tutors, me and Mike, are happy to support you and discuss that with you. So for management, your course specialist units will be management studies in context, managing within a legal framework, so looking at a bit of employment law or legislation you need to follow within the workplace. And then your marketing specialist core units will be marketing communications and also sales and marketing. And then for human resource management, you're going to focus more on things like performance and reward, and then managing across cultural backgrounds. And again, although the specialists to your areas, they do all kind of develop on from your first year of study, so it's not completely brand new. You'll see that you're developing, and they're all building blocks towards your final year for when you decide what you want to do to get your full BA Honours degree in. Okay. Next one. Yeah, so this is just sort of a little pause point there, really, and just looking at more of how you feel about starting university. So for many of you, and many moons ago when I started university, you know, it is quite daunting. For many of us, you know, the idea of going into large lecture theatres or meeting new people. It is going to be slightly different this next year because, like Adam's briefly touched on, is, you know, you will only be on campus 1 day a week, so you'll be with your peers for 1 day a week. The rest will be online. The idea with online learning is it'll be in this kind of environment. So we'll use this software such as Microsoft Teams, and we'll all come together as groups and have some discussions, use a chat panel, and it's be like a lecture seminar kind of approach. So again, you won't all really see each other that often, but you know, we are all quite tech savvy this day and age, so we'll use quite a bit of online platforms to develop your learning and sort of engage you throughout the process. Okay, so just to sort of support you in terms of starting university at UCEN Manchester, this is sort of what we offer really. So this is what I'll go into now. So Adam, if you can switch to the next slide, please. So sort of selling points really as to why study with UCEN Manchester. So like I said, it can be quite daunting going to university. Some of you might be concerned that you might get lost because you don't get that sort of support on one-to-one like you would in a classroom style based learning like you had at college, for example. So what we offer is smaller class sizes, and the idea is that we can offer you that more one-to-one support. We can develop more deeper discussions and critical thinking, and you've got time to develop your ideas in support of your assignments and obviously your learning. So with that, you do get better tutor support than traditional universities. So we are there in the background, you know, online, via email, telephone, or face-to-face if you want to catch up, and we can have virtual one-to-one tutorials as well. So we are quite flexible. You know, you can just reach out to us, drop an email, or just pick up the phone. We are quite good at that, and we do try to allow time at the end of classes to give you that opportunity to ask questions and to meet with the tutors. So, you know, we do try and offer that little bit of informal time where you can open up and get that additional support if you need it. Quality teaching, I would say we have very good quality, a quality team. So both Mike and I can see him smiling, nodding his head, have been consistent. So although we are a university level, you know, organisation, UCEN Manchester, we deliver degree level. We do, our quality assurance process is very similar to that of a sixth form college. So we are sort of monitored in line with Ofsted, for example. So we do have the quality team coming in, observing our lessons. We do get regular student feedback about the course and the support, etc. And we've all, for the last few years, probably Mike's been, you know, much longer, but we've always been consistent with outstanding to good quality teaching and learning experiences. And we try and maintain that standard for you as learners. So, you know, that's a good thing to consider. We do try to develop engaging learning materials. We don't do the university style, you know, chalk and talk where we just stand at the front and talk at you. We try to make it interactive and engaging as much as possible to give you the most out of your learning experience. So that's, you know, I think that's really important. We don't just, you know, give you a textbook and say read chapter 5 and answer the questions. We've tried to make it a little bit more exciting for you.
And fun.
And fun, yes, of course. Yeah, Mike has some interesting ideas with his teaching and learning. I've seen some examples where he's brought loads of random chocolate to teach a bit about economics. It goes over my head, it's Mike's area, but there's lots of creative ways that we try to apply to our teaching and learning around business. The idea around less costly, so I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but the university's fees are around £9,000. Now we try to, because you are smaller class sizes, we do offer the course fees are, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, £7,000 per year this is. So, you know, we are a couple of £1,000s cheaper than a traditional university. You're coming out with a degree from Manchester Met University, but obviously it's going to be a bit cheaper. Some of you might be getting student finance and not see that as a big thing, but if you think about on the long-term side, over 3 years, you're saving £6,000 across 3 years, which is quite a substantial amount of money when you think about it. You get access to 2 institutions as well. So you are a student at UCEN Manchester, so you are our student and we're your first point of contact, and we're here to support you throughout the whole process of your foundation degree. However, as your degree will be the certificate will be by Manchester Metropolitan University, you can also gain access to the university as well. So as long as they're all opening in line with government changes that are coming up, you can access their libraries, you can take out textbooks, you can use their on-campus facilities, and at the start of the academic year you will get a student ID. Well, you get 2 student IDs, so you get one for UCEN Manchester and you get one for MMU as well, so you can log in onto their portals and things like that. So again, you know, you're paying less but you're getting more for less in theory. So that's the idea. Again, we'll give you more insight around that on the induction week of the course. And what we do is through the 2 years, we try to fully prepare you to get the best out of your final year of your degree. So like I say, it is a foundation degree, so you've got that flexibility on the final year to say, right, I want to stay on the business management general pathway, or I want to specialise in HR or marketing. But all we're doing throughout those 2 years is pushing you and supporting you to do your best. So when you get to that final year, you get the best outcome on your final degree certificate, because that's kind of what counts, whether you come out with a first classification or a third classification. You know, massive difference there. And we do get some really good outcomes. You know, the universities feedback to us when students go on to Manchester Metropolitan to say, you know, students have come out with this. And we get students emailing us as well. So me and Mike have had a few students that have left us last year to do their final year at MMU, and they've emailed and said, I've come out with a first or a 2-1, and they're so grateful of the pushing and supporting that we've done. You know, and we also support those and develop those employability skills, you know, so things like report writing, customer service skills, communication skills, problem solving, critical thinking. You know, we embed that within your learning experience, so you don't really recognise that that's what you're doing, but once you enter that big bad world, so to speak, or you go on to progress your career and employability, you'll start to recognise those skills that you've developed and put them into practice. So like I say, you are still an MMU student with the additional support, less debt and smaller group sizes. Okay, so you're with us at UCEN, but MMU in the background. I find students quite like that. Okay, so yeah, so why study with us? I think that's a good sort of summary of the sort of additionals, and we do have other additional support functions available, like the student hub, etc. But again, areas like that, we will go through it at the induction week with you. Okay, thanks, Adam. So this is an example of one of our students last year from work-based learning. So this student was actually a human resource management student. So she specialised in HR. But like I say, work-based learning is a core unit that you'll cover across HR, marketing and management within your second year. And this is one of Mike's core units, so this is his area. So I'm going to give you a chance, Mike, just to explain sort of what's involved in this unit and what students can expect.
Yeah, this student has just recently received a first from Manchester Metropolitan University as well. And it prepares students for the final year at university because it's an individual research project. It's very independent. You get obviously my support, or mine and Rachel's support. However, you do all the decisions and you choose a topic within the workplace based upon a policy, and you investigate whether that policy is actually its strengths and weaknesses. But the focus of the teaching is based around business research methodology. Now that enables you to undertake a lot of the independent learning in your final year at Manchester Metropolitan University. Any students, it's really good if a student's working part-time or has work experience, either for a charity or or any particular type of employer. For students who may not have any work experience, then I'd negotiate with that student and create a live brief based around an organisation outside the college, or we can actually use the college as a live brief for your study, but you choose the topic area, and that involves you researching independently. So.
Thanks, Mike. I muted myself then, didn't know what happened. Thank you for that. Yes, so like Mike said, that kind of prepares you for that final year when you do your final year of your degree. So you might do a dissertation. So this work-based learning unit allows you to develop your research skills and independent learning, which is great. This is just a couple of examples of student work from the innovation and creativity unit that you study, and this is the first year group that have just finished this year. And it's just, the idea is that you look at 3 different areas in the market. So it could be solving a problem, looking at sustainability, or a gap in the market, and you can come up with your, any idea. So students come up with some kind of apps to help you sort of, hacks to sort of stop baby from crying. So this is actually a mature student who has young children at home. So, there's just little techniques, just little tools, apps, simple business idea, but the creativity that went in behind it and the portfolio developed was excellent. On the other side, you've got Manchester Recommendations app. So again, you've got, your typical apps like TripAdvisor, but this app allows you to filter directly into a specific area that you want to look at, and it's specific to the town, region or city that you're currently in. So if you're going visiting London, for example, the idea is you've got this app and you type in your current location and what it is you're looking for, and it'll bring everything up around you or give you directions on how to get to places. So again, quite simple ideas, but very creative. And it's not so much the idea that's come out of it, it's the process that the students gone through and how they developed and justified themselves to get to that idea. So again, these are 2 app ideas, are quite techie based and pretty straightforward. You don't have to actually do the business idea. But I think the crybaby example, the student's going to actually go away and try and look at how she can develop that as a real initiative, because especially at the moment with the current pandemic and everyone being in lockdown with children and working from home and young babies, an app to sort of come up with tips on how to stop children from crying in the background if you've got a meeting like this, for example, is quite a useful tool. And there'll be a lot of people working from home a lot in the future. So that's, again, just a couple of simple ideas, but very creative, and they've come out with really, really excellent results for those ideas. Next slide, please, Adam. So just wanted to share a couple of examples with you there of student work. In terms of flexibility and validating partners, this is just sort of the building blocks or a visual on how you can, how you progress or how the courses look like and what they're equivalent to. So you can achieve a degree within 3 years with a range of flexible learning options. There's 1, 2 and 3 year qualifications. So the foundation degree is a 2-year qualification. But the idea is that you'll do your level 3, whether that's access to higher education, whether it's a BTEC or A levels. Ideally, you want, you'd come from a businessy kind of background at level 3. However, we do look at other areas too. So if you decided you want to have a shift in your background and focus in business now for your degree, again, we're happy to discuss and support you with that to see what's right for you. I've not gone into it within this session, but we do offer higher national diplomas as well. So again, the Pearson validated. So these are similar to a BTEC kind of qualification. So you could do a higher national certificate, which again is equivalent to the first year of your degree. You can finish that 1 year and get your certificate, and then from that you can look to progress onto the HND, which is the higher national diploma. Again, that's equivalent to a 2nd year of a traditional degree. So we've kind of got 2 degree foundation courses there, if you like, to support you to develop into that final year. But as you can see, the idea is that they're the building blocks to a full degree, and in the 3 years that you do a traditional degree, you can still do a foundation degree or a HND and then top it up with 1 year and still get a full degree at the end. I think the benefits of a foundation degree or a higher national qualification is it does allow you that flexibility to sort of change as you're progressing. So obviously not change too drastically, but as I've just mentioned, from level 4 to level 5, you can either stay general with the units that you cover, or you can specialise if you're interested in more in one specific area. And then again, you can specialise again a bit more in your final year. Some students as well, in some cases, have decided after the 2 years of the foundation degree, they've wanted to take a year out to get a bit of work experience, earn a bit of money, whatever it might be. But then they've decided that they just want a bit of breathing space, because 3 years can be quite intense, especially for mature students with family commitments and other things going on. So sometimes students will go away for a year and then come back and do that final year. So again, it just allows you that bit more flexibility in place of sort of your traditional 3-year degree. Yeah, and like I say, our foundation degree is validated by Manchester Metropolitan University. We're going to give you a bit of insight to our student experience. So we've got a couple of podcasts that I'm going to, well, Adam's going to play for you now. So I'll pop myself on mute. You can have a listen to these just to get a student's opinion, so it's not just the tutor's word. Okay, so yeah, if you want to play that, Adam, that'd be great. You might need to unmute your mic, Adam, as well, so we can hear, please. Thank you.
It doesn't look like that's playing. Adam, if you can just stop sharing and reshare your screen, that'd be great. Thank you.
I would say for a smaller university like this, if you do have maybe anxiety about a larger, you know, a place, and it's great to
it's really good to come into.
So don't let that put you off doing a degree,
Yeah.
because you don't want to be in a city
Yeah.
centre with thousands and
Yeah.
thousands of students.
And you also build a relationship with the tutors as
Yeah.
well. Like I for a fact know that I'll still be
And,
talking to Mike and Rochelle
You know,
afterwards.
us guys,
Yeah.
you probably, if you're in a large university, I've never experienced it, I'm guessing we're going soon in
Yeah, we're
September.
going to,
But people are in these massive lecture theatres probably don't even know the person that's sat next to
Exactly,
and don't
yeah.
speak to, so
yeah.
I
But
think it
feel
helps
like,
building a relationship, and
Yeah.
if anyone needs any support, we've got a group where we can all
Exactly.
give support to each other.
Yeah,
So.
and we all know each other as well, and
Yeah.
it's just great building out those relationships.
Before you play the next one, Adam, I just wanted to share, because I didn't sort of introduce that group. I've not heard that recording before, so it was quite interesting. So Claire, who was the main speaker in that, is a mature student who works alongside her studies, and she was talking there with Zainab, who is a student who's come straight from level 3. So, you know, there's an age gap there, but they've been great support for each other. They're both HR students. And when they said there about the smaller class sizes, a lot of them create like a WhatsApp group of some sort of social media group, so they can regularly chat and support each other outside of the classroom. So that's what they were talking about there. So that was quite interesting. And I'll let Adam play the next recording now as well, which is Kimoni Bell.
Not hearing that one, Adam.
as well. So anytime I needed time off, or if she wasn't well or anything, there was really understanding, and they'd authorise like absences if I had like valid reasons. Anytime I needed to catch up on anything, because it's like one-to-one learning, it was easier to do as well. Like I didn't have a lot of notes, I could just go directly to the tutor, which I found useful.
Yeah, brilliant. And then how do you feel like your tutors impacted where you are now in terms of like your role or what you might want to do in the future as well?
Well, in terms, they've actually had a big impact, because the role I've got now as a graduate advisor is under UCEN Manchester, so it's under the same place that I actually studied. And it started off by I was being their student rep, and the tutors found that I was good, so then they told me, they linked me with a tutor or somebody who works in UCEN anyway, and then I became the student governor. And then I started working behind the scenes with like marketing and student experience. And then when I actually left, instead of going straight into my masters, I was offered a position in the UCEN Manchester team.
So can you see yourself potentially studying your masters at some point then? Or
yeah, I'm going to go back. I've just deferred it for a year. I'm going to defer it for another year, and then I'm going to go and do my masters in international law and business.
Brilliant. So what will that kind of set you up to do then?
I want to be a supply chain manager, so I want to work with international supply chains. Yeah, that's my goal career.
Brilliant. And how did you find out about that kind of career, or what makes you interested in that?
Well, one of my tutors, Dawn, she used to work in supply chain, so all her sessions used to be really fun, and like the stuff she used to say like made me really interested. So I started altering all my subjects and my works to like study supply chains, which got me really intrigued.
Yeah. So is that the kind of thing you do in like your personal projects and individual projects? You kind of chose what you'd want to study there.
Yeah, and it works well with my career that I'm in now, because my manager is really focused on like personal development, so he knows what I want to do. So anytime there's something opportunity that's linked to what I'm going to be doing in the future, he gives me the heads up and allows me to like manage my own projects and things like that.
That's brilliant, really exciting. And then what's it been like coming into education with a child?
It's been a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, especially because I'm not at a normal, well, not a normal university, is a normal one, but it's not like it's not straight 18 with like hundreds of people in lectures and stuff. It's really easy. The teachers know you and your personal circumstances, so they are understanding, like I said before. And the timetable was pretty flexible. It worked around her nursery schedule. So yeah, it's a lot easier than I anticipated. I thought it was going to be really hard, but it wasn't.
Was it harder or easier than now when you're working full time?
Oh, it was way easier than now working full time, because full time you don't get a break.
Yeah,
it's
brilliant.
Very easier.
And is it nice that you can kind of have your daughter grow up and be proud that you've done this? And
yeah, definitely. It's actually funny because today she asked me what I actually did for the first time, so I told her I'm going to take a picture of the office so I can show her what I do.
Oh, that's lovely. Brilliant. Well, that's pretty much it. So
okay.
Yeah, is there anything else you feel like people might like to know about UCEN or the course or whatever it may be?
With UCEN, it's not as scary as you seem. So if you want to go to university but you don't want to go to a traditional university, or you don't like the idea, or if you don't like the idea of not learning like a traditional student, then an FE college is really the place to go, because it's a completely different environment. Especially if you've got children, it's different. The teachers are more understanding, they know you more on a personal basis, and especially all the staff at UCEN, like you just seen before how I was talking with Rochelle, and she used to be my tutor for 3 years, but now she's like lovely. Well, she was always lovely, but it's just like, it's really great to see
those relationships last.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, lovely. That's easy.
Thank you, Adam. Yep, Dawn was a tutor that Kimoni said there, who again was another outstanding tutor, and unfortunately retired this last year, so you won't get the pleasure of meeting her, I'm afraid, unless she decides to pop in to guest lecture. But again, you know, students do learn from tutors, they pick things up, and again, we try to support you to follow your dream and what you want to do, and try to support you and direct you to be successful. And as Kimoni and Claire have both said, there is there is that additional one-to-one support. We do allow you time to develop assignments, to do the best that you can, and we do try to support you to get into the industry that you want to work in. So yes, that is all from us. Please feel free to ask any questions in the chat panel now if you want to. We are going to share our contact details, mine and Mike's, as the core tutors in just a moment. So do feel free after this, if you do have any burning questions that crop up, don't be scared to ask. Just drop us a quick email and just introduce, let us know who you are and what you're interested in, or what it is you're going to be studying, just so we've got an idea of where you're coming from, and then we can sort of give you the right responses to those questions. Okay, thank you.
Great. Well, thank you very much for all of you for that presentation. It was really, really informative. I'm going to go through some of the questions now. So starting off, what are tutors' main expectations of students?
Ooh, I'm going to give that one to Mike, if that's okay.
Engagement, being interactive, communicating with tutors. Asking questions rather than just be silent. And I know some students lack a bit of confidence, but as the course progresses, then the more questions and debate that we can have, then the more learning occurs across the whole group and individually as well. So, and of course, meeting deadlines and attendance, and that's very important.
Yeah, the other thing I would add to what Mike said then is, I mean, just to reiterate that communication part, I mean, you just heard from Claire and Kimoni then, and we could only support them as best we could do if they spoke to us, they communicated with us. So if we don't know your circumstances, we can't support you as well as we can do. So in both those scenarios, especially for Kimoni, if she didn't speak to us about obviously her background, her scenario, we obviously don't need full details, but knowing that she has a child, we can make plans around that for her, and that's ultimately key. I mean, we can help you if you communicate with us. We can't help you if we don't know you. So
yeah, and it's very important. Trust us, because we'll be your personal tutors, and that's a very hard thing to say, really. But the more you progress on the course, and the more interactive that you get, then the more you'll trust us with information, and we can help and guide you.
Great. Thank you. So moving on, somebody's asked, will any of the courses be delivered online in September? And also, there's another question, what kind of measures will be in place when we return to campus? Do I need to wear a mask?
In terms of coming back to campus, so I know Adam mentioned this at the beginning, and do add on to this form if you want. So the timetable will be across 2.5 days a week. With that, you'll be on campus for 1 day, and then the remainder day and a half will be directed learning online. So it'll be like this, so a virtual session, or we might give you some sort of quizzes, activities online.
Great, thank you.
In terms of the mask wearing, that's an issue that will have to be decided at a later date. I mean, in shops at the moment, you have to wear a mask. A lot of people are struggling with that, including myself. So we'll just have to wait and see. And see what goes on.
Yeah, I mean, everything in terms of when you're on campus, I mean, we have timetables so we can't be on site 1 day a week, and that is something that we are still working with our health and safety team, with everything else, putting risk assessments in place. So we will be communicating more and more about that. I mean, also we're staying up to date with the current government guidelines. I mean, obviously they've said, obviously Mike said that in shops, they're wearing them. I know in education at the moment they've turned around and said we're not obliged to wear them, but obviously what we would do is make sure obviously that in the classrooms where social distancing is possible. But again, more information that will come out. We are working on that extremely hard at the minute to find the best solutions for all our students at UCEN Manchester.
Thank you. Is part of the course taught at MMU then? Repeat that. Is part of the course taught at MMU then?
I'll say that one then. No, is the answer to that. There may be times where there's guest lectures or things like that where we can collaborate on with the tutors at Manchester Met, but all the learning is taught by ourselves. We do share resources with Manchester Metropolitan University, but not everything you will be taught with, and all the resources, all the marking will be done by ourselves.
Great, thanks. Somebody's asked, how is UCEN more cost effective than other unis?
I'll have a go on this one. How's it more cost effective? Going back to the selling point or why study with us, you do have that additional tutor support. In a traditional university, you might have, for example, a lecture on a Monday morning at 9, 10 o'clock, and then you might have another lecture until 5, 6 o'clock that evening. You've got a full day there where you sat around waiting. If you've got part-time job and you've got lectures and seminars scattered through the week, realistically they've got hundreds and hundreds of students, they can't tailor it to the student on an individual basis, whereas we do. Adam said at the beginning of this session, we timetable so you're in for 2.5 days. So we condense your teaching and learning experience. So for example, you might be in all day on a Monday, teaching and learning on a Tuesday, and then half day on a Wednesday. So you know, it's sort of 2.5 days there where you need to come in, and then you've got the freedom then of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to work if you need to, or work on your assignments, or do whatever it might be in the background. But we try to do that because based on student feedback, really. So students like Kimoni, you've just heard there, she does have childcare problems. You know, she's a single parent doing it on her own, so she doesn't have that support of people helping her with nursery fees, picking up her child, etc. So the hours tend to be 9 till 4 as well across those couple of days. So she's found it very beneficial than being in a university too. And then again, like we've said, you know, we're here to support you. We want you to get the best out of this. We actually care. So we do try to make it a bit more personable to you as individuals. Yeah, so the courses, like we say, are delivered across 2.5 days. And the idea is that we've not got the timetables finalised yet due to the current changes in the government guidelines keep being updated. So they'll be sort of sent out and sort of finalised in the next few weeks. But I think, again, Adam will correct me if I'm wrong here, but the last time we sort of spoke about it, you'll be in for one full day. So, for example, you might be in for a full day on a Monday, and then in the classroom, obviously social distancing rules will be applied. So you will be spaced out. So you've got your space and safe distance there. And then it might be on the Tuesday, you'll be asked to come online and have a virtual session like this. So you might have a couple of hours in the morning, a couple of hours in the afternoon to break it up for you. You know, that might be like 10 until 12, and then maybe 2 or 1 till 3 or 2 till 4. So you've got a bit of breathing time, because it can be quite intense if you're constant online like this. But we do have experience in online delivery. I've done it for a couple of years now as well with different online software. So again, you know, we work together to make it as engaging for you and a little bit interactive. So, you know, it's not all too serious. We will try and have a laugh and a bit of a catch up with you as well. Try and sort of apply the human approach to online delivery. So yeah, the courses will be, it's called blended learning. So a bit of face-to-face and a bit of online for the foreseeable future.
Thank you. Do you do top up degrees so I can complete my 3rd year?
Good question. We did have a top-up degree. It was validated by, well, we've had them validated by Salford University in the past and then Sheffield Hallam. However, the contracts came to an end just a couple of years ago, and we're currently, I'm aware that the quality team and management team are in the process of looking for the best fit top-up year to do with us at UCEN. So if you decided that you didn't want to go to university after those 2 years, the idea is that we would have an option to stay with us if you wanted to. But yeah, it's not set in stone just yet, so I'm not going to promise anything right now.
Yeah, and just to confirm that as well, we are looking at ensure we have a top-up. So anyone that's joining Level 4 now, we are hoping to make sure we have a top-up that matches the current pathways that you would have be studying now by the time you get to the end of you've completed your level 5 qualification. But if we don't, for whatever reason, we do have a good relationship with Manchester Met regarding progression to them as well. So that's something we would keep you updated about throughout your time with us.
Great, thank you. Can I take this course if my A-levels are unrelated to business?
I'll take that one if you don't mind. Definitely, without a doubt, because business relates to all subjects and vocational areas. So you're coming in with a lot of different skills and knowledge. However, you can readapt that to the business world. So there's absolutely no problems with that, providing you have, of course, the entry requirements for the course.
Great, thank you. Does UCEN have an online library to help with remote learning?
Yeah, we have got the library, and you can access that online, where you can access lots of journals and research material. You can access ebooks, so the books that we'd have in the library. The library team are in the process of giving you access to electronic versions of those textbooks as well. And then there's lots of other resources available on the library, study skills support. Again, we'll go through all that with you at induction, but yeah, there's a very good library space available for you, both virtually and when we're allowed back on campus.
Great, thank you. Just have a look. Will students be able to participate in work placements as part of their course?
With regards to work placements, in terms of, we don't set up the work placements for you. We do get some charities and businesses contacting us to see if we've got any students that are interested. So last year there was a healthcare trust in Bolton that contacted me wanting a student with HR advisory support. It was a volunteer role, so it wasn't paid for, and it allowed a student to go in, and again, they're flexible with the days and period of time that students want to do it. I think we had a student go in and she just did a few weeks. It was quite a distance for her to get there, but she just went for a couple of days a week, and she got a bit more practical experience around HR in the workplace. So some organisations do reach out to us. We do also have the guidance, careers and welfare team. So in terms of employability, if you're looking for work placements or work experience, or even just a general job, we have that team alongside Mike and myself that can, find roles best fit and help you to apply for them and tailor your CV and, make you look a bit more attractive for those roles as well. So, yeah, we do try to support you. We don't have a specific profile of organisations, if you like, but we do try and support you to get that.
You do also have, you would also have access to the MMU's business hub, so they have a number of opportunities that you can take for access.
Great, thank you. Somebody said, if I went through clearing and have my qualifications already, when do applications be considered?
We're working through that at the moment. So your clearing applications will go through to our administration team. Given the current circumstances, because we're not all in the offices at the moment, it might take a bit of time because back and forth over email. But any applications that come through that might not necessarily have a clear UCAS points, or we're not quite sure on the results, they'll get passed to either Mike or myself. And then we would then either give you a call or drop you an email just to have a chat with you, just to ask a bit more about, what you've studied, why you're interested in this, and sort of just answer any queries or concerns, and just to check it is best fit and it is what you want, and you can get the most out of it. So we're working through that. I have a few contacts at the moment that I need to reach out to, which I'm planning to do. It was meant to be this afternoon, or it'll be next week as well. So as soon as you submit them through clearing, it should be within the a week or two max, I'd say.
Great, thank you. Somebody else has asked, will we sit our exams at MMU?
No. So Yeah, so all your assessments are with us at UCEN. So if it's an examination, a sit in an exam, it would either be in the classroom where you would sit on a a table alone and you'd write up your exam responses. Because of the lockdown over the last few months, the approach to exam changed slightly. So the exams were uploaded to Moodle, which is a platform we use to provide student the resources for their learning experience. So we uploaded the exam to Moodle. Say, for example, the exam was on a Friday, we'd make the exam available at 8:30 on that Friday morning, and we allowed students up until 4 p.m. that same day to type up their responses. So it's kind of like an open book style exam. So again, we're quite flexible with that. So yeah, all the assessments are they're developed from us, but working in collaboration with the university to make sure they're fit for purpose. But you would sit them and submit them to us at UCEN.
Great, thank you. Somebody's asked, when is the course start date?
Officially, good question.
It's the 14th of September.
There you go. So you'll have an induction week during that week where we'll familiarise you with the material. We'll get you enrolled, formally enrolled onto the course, and just go through the key, what's available to you, how it's going to be structured, introduce us more in a bit more detail as tutors as well, and obviously orientation with the campus, etc.
Great, thank you. And last question, unless we do have any more as we speak, but somebody's asked, what kind of business roles can I go into when I finish the course? Will I have skills to start as an assistant or more executive roles?
You might want to add to this, but it very much depends on you as an individual and how committed and how well you do with your degree. So like Kimoni there, for example, who you've just heard from, she's come in with little business experience. She's done a degree, she's excelled in the degree, she's really worked hard, and from her first year to her final year, her results have just got better and better and better with the support, etc. And then obviously guidance and things, and she's engaged, like Mike said, communicate and engage with the course, so you'll have an opportunity to be a student rep. Looks brilliant on your CV. It just looks, you're showing that you're committed, and you're developing various skills. She's gone on to things like student governor roles, and I have no doubt she'll get a great role as a supply chain manager, because she's just committed and hardworking. Same with Claire, who spoke earlier. She worked in the NHS as an administrator. She's going into her final year for her degree now, but the same part of the NHS that she works for have said, once you get your degree, we do want to offer you more of a financial manager role within the team. So it does very much depend. There's another student who I've just been emailing this week who's progressing into her final year within HR, because she wants to go into learning and development, so training within organisations. So there's lots of flexibility. I don't know, Mike, if you've got, before I do, we've got an example a couple of years ago, a gentleman who went through the marketing pathway, really wanted to own his own business, didn't really know what to do. He's gone into a venture, and he's part of a huge social entrepreneurial business called Social Chain, and also part of Lad Bible. So again, he's excelled, utilised his degree and what he's learned, and applied that, as well as his work experience. Yeah, anything else, Mike?
Yeah, it just depends on your own interests and specialisms, because there's got lots and lots of opportunities, especially once the economy starts booming again, whenever that might be, but we'll say 12 months time. And we encourage you to get a part-time job, and that's the focus of the work-based learning, so you can experience the workplace and then move on to another way if you didn't like that, and find your own career path, if you like, because there's so many opportunities out there in terms of business, because everything everywhere in the public sector, private sector and charities, it's a business, so it depends on your interests.
Great, thank you. We've got a question about accommodation now, and somebody's asked, does UCEN help with accommodation, or what accommodation is best to consider, as I don't know what's best to look to, if the person's coming from Northern Ireland. Is there anything you'd be able to advise with that?
Yeah, and again, I don't know if Mike or Adam wants to add on to this. Like I said before, we've got the careers and welfare team. Again, they support students with finding accommodation that you might be struggling with. I know students have gone in. We don't have halls specifically to us, but you know, we are close to the city centre, so we do have students that have gone into some of the university halls and mingled with uni students.
Yeah, we're linked with the 3 universities in Manchester, which is Salford, Manchester Met and Manchester University, via student homes, Manchester Homes, I think it's called. And so the welfare and guidance team can put you in contact with that provider.
Yeah, and I will just put the careers and welfare email address on the Q&A box as well. It's looking like we don't have any more questions. Is there anything else anybody would like to add?
Not from me, no. Just if there is any questions or anything you're unsure of, if you apply through clearing and you're not getting an update, mine and Mike's contact details are there on the slide. That's my direct Skype phone number and also my email. So, you know, just reach out, drop us an email, say I've applied through clearing, or I'm still interested in this course but not applied, or whatever it might be. And you know, we'll just try and support you as best we can, so you can get some sort of final answer, so you know where you're going. And anything else, you know, about timetables, just general queries, just get in touch.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for the presentation this afternoon. It's been really useful and some really great questions in the question and answer session. So we'll wrap up now, and thank you everybody for attending this morning. Again, if you do have any questions, to get in touch, make sure you just contact the email addresses on the screen. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day and have a nice weekend. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.